Hello and welcome to Global News Today with me, Michal Prendergast. And today, we have a special debate on Netanyahu's threat to reoccupy Gaza amid a worsening humanitarian crisis. And joining me on this is Cenk, host of the Young Turks, and Rabbi Shmuley, who describes himself as America's rabbi. Let's dive in. Thanks so much for your time, gentlemen. I'd like to start with you, Rabbi. Is Israel using starvation as a weapon of war, or is Hamas blocking aid as Israel claims?
Firstly, thank you so much for having me on, and it's nice to debate my adversary and maybe one day friend, Cenk. I would ask Cenk at the beginning of this debate, let's try to have a somewhat civilized debate. In the last debate that we did, he called me a Nazi, bulging sinews from his neck. And let's just try to keep this a little bit civil. I'm not a Nazi. And if that's the way this is going to go, I will fight you, but it's the detriment to the audience. So let me address the question. Israel is not only not using starvation as a tactic of war. Israel is the first country in history to actually provide food, water, and all the necessities to its enemy. Remember that the Palestinian people, who are innocent, but they still elected Hamas as their representative. Since then, they've been suppressed by Hamas. Israel has delivered 2 million tons of food. That is the equivalent of what the Allies delivered in the Berlin airlift under President Truman between 1947 and 1951, when Stalin cut off all land routes into West Berlin. It is being hijacked by Hamas. There are videos of Hamas shooting the people who gathered at the distribution points. Hamas is taking 80% of the food for their fighters. 2 million tons of food. Where the hell did it go? Then you have the other issue, that the United Nations is refusing to allow the IDF to escort them and protect them militarily. The UN hates Israel. We know that so many of the employees of the UN were actually on the Hamas payroll. They were actually terrorists who participated in the October 7th massacres. And they're insisting that only the blue police of Hamas, which are the terrorists, escort them in. So you have all this food rotting. There was a Wall Street Journal, a firsthand report of a reporter who said there's crushed carrots, there's crushed peas, all these baby formulas that are sitting and baking in the sun, as the UN says to the IDF, you cannot distribute it. Now, why is that? Because the more of our innocent Palestinian brothers die in Gaza, the more people like Cenk can falsely accuse me. How disgusting is that? Of being a Nazi. I'm in Budapest right now, where 600,000 Jews were killed by the Nazis. And you know what, Cenk? You owe me a frickin' apology. And if you were human in the slightest, you would finally deliver it. Because the name of your show is Young Turks, who perpetrated the Armenian genocide. It's like calling my show the Gestapo or the SS. That's disgusting, and you should be ashamed. And one more thing. The New York Times now admits that they lied on their front page. They put a picture of an emaciated, starving Palestinian child 1 week ago on Wednesday on their front page. Later, they were forced to admit the child had muscular dystrophy. He was born with a muscle disorder. That's why he's emaciated. There was a picture of his brother right next to him, which the UN cropped out. He is completely normal. There's a picture of his mother holding her. She is completely normal. There is no starvation in Gaza except for the starvation of Hamas stealing the food. Finally, we know there is starvation in Gaza of Jews who are truly emaciated and were forced by Hamas to dig their own graves in Gaza. Cenk has his show named after a group that killed 3 million people in the true genocide. Cenk, you're an embarrassment. Change the damn name of your show. Thank you very much.
Allow Cenk to respond now.
Yeah. All right. So these days, Israel is split into two. So there's some folks who are truly horrified to find out that this was not about self-defense, that this was about the occupation of Gaza, to murder as many Palestinians as possible, move them out, ethnically cleanse them, starve them, and take Gaza. So the people who discovered that, including, by the way, hundreds of military officials in the IDF, and the former head of Shin Bet and 2 former Israeli prime ministers are all speaking out and saying, oh, my God, we didn't know that Netanyahu and these monsters running the Israeli government were going to do this. And now the Israeli government has admitted they are going for a, quote, full conquest of Gaza. So we were right all along. It was never about self-defense. It was always about slaughtering the Palestinians and taking their land, which unfortunately is the history of Israel. So, of course, everything that Rabbi Shmuley said is a lie, because if an Israeli supporter of this current Israeli government is talking, they're lying. So he says, oh, my God, there's no problem of food in Gaza. Well, 196 people have starved. I'm sorry, 193, and 96 of them are children. So we're supposed to ignore our eyes and ears. We're supposed to ignore those pictures. And so this is what they always do with the one case, right? In the beginning of the war, there was a bomb that landed on a hospital, and Israel was like, I can't believe it. How could anybody say that we would ever hit a hospital? It is it's a mistaken reporting, and it's all anti-Semitic and blah, 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 and blood label, and we're the victims. And then they destroyed almost every hospital in Gaza. So they say, oh, there's one kid who already had a pre-existing condition, so it was okay to starve him to death. Well, how about the other 95 kids? How about the other 192 people that starved to death? So they keep telling us lies, thinking that we're going to believe it when we could all see it. I mean, it's actually a super stupid strategy. It makes the rest of the world hate them even more. 61,000 dead now at a bare minimum in Palestine. Over 30,000 women and children, now approaching 40,000, a stadium full of murdered innocent civilians. Israel has now killed 50 times this number of civilians as Hamas. That makes them 50 times the terrorists. If you think they didn't intend it, American doctors come back and say, there's 5-year-olds, there's children. I mean, not one or two, a lot of them with sniper shots to the head, to the chest. They definitely intend it. Now, what's amazing and interesting, and that's why, look, I don't want hatred to spread because that doesn't solve anything, okay? I want there to be peace, but Israel's government is saying, no, we don't want peace. So their absurd offer in the ceasefire talks was, give us back all the hostages. We'll give you a couple of weeks break. Then we'll go back to starving and bombing you, and we're going to conquer Gaza. Well, that's not a peace offer. That's a slap in the face. Okay, hold on. You spoke for about half an hour. Let me finish.
No. You're into monologues.
What?
You're never into response.
All right, that's all the Israelis have. Interruptions.
You spoke.
Okay.
Now. I'm not.
No, you're just lying as always.
They
said it's a conquest.
Stop.
So Rabbi Shmuley, you know that they said it's a conquest, right?
I do not hold an Israeli passport. I'm an American. Now, let me go back. Now, notice that Cenk did not.
I said Israeli supporters.
Note you said Israeli. We can go back and tape. You lie all the time, but it's on freaking tape and it'll air tonight. Now listen to me. Number one.
I don't really care. You support the Nazis of the current Israeli regime. So what do I care which particular Nazi you support?
I want everyone to notice. Number one, Cenk did not respond to the fact that his show is named after the Young Turks, who every historian on earth agrees.
He's trying to distract you because he's supporting a genocide.
3 million people.
He supports starving children to death.
After a true genocide, and he won't even change the name, which is an abomination.
Rabbi Shmuley, you know your beloved Israel is murdering children right now. Does it not cost you any conscience? Don't you feel guilty at all?
I am going to respond with fact because Cenk is an utter ignoramus. I'm going to respond. He says that Israel decided to attack Gaza because it wanted land. Cenk, there was something called October 7th. Israel withdrew from Gaza 20 years ago.
They're taking the land, aren't they, Rabbi?
Don't interrupt
They're taking the land, just like I said they would.
It is the 20th anniversary of Israel's withdrawal. Today, exactly, today. I'll tell you something else. And Israel withdrew. By the way, in your ignorance, you don't even know that Netanyahu at the time was savaged by his political base for voting for the withdrawal from Gaza. The Israeli army sent its soldiers in to destroy Jewish houses, to remove Jewish. You are just such an ignoramus. It's embarrassing. Go back and look at the videotapes on CNN.
Rabbi, nobody believes you. You can yell and scream all you want. We have eyes and ears.
The point is, you are ignorant of history in a way that it's shocking that anyone puts you on the air. Israel withdrew from Gaza in 2005. Exactly today this is the 20th anniversary today, August 6th. I'll tell you something else, which this is the anniversary of. Today is and Netanyahu voted for that withdrawal. Israel did not want any of the land in Gaza. They voluntarily withdrew. They were then savage.
Israel didn't want any land. They just happened to steal all of it.
They were then savagely attacked with women having their breasts cut off and terrorists playing baseball with them.
Israel has done 50 times worse.
You want dead Jews. That's what you pray for day and night.
No, I don't. Absolutely not. That's total lie. It's liar by a genocide-supporting freak.
You are an anti-Semite to your core.
No one cares what you say. No one cares about your insults. You're going to call me an anti-Semite. Ooh. No one cares, you genocidal freak.
You're an ignorant. Now, stop. I'm a freak. Listen to your disgusting put-downs.
You're supporting the murder and starvation of children, and you don't think you're a freak?
Now, let me tell you. Now, listen to what Cenk is saying. Cenk is saying that Israel killed 60 times the people of those who were attacked on October 7th. So for him, by the way, that's a lie, because even if we accept the Hamas ministry numbers of 60,000, they don't distinguish between combatants and civilians. Israel, even according to Hamas, Israel has a 1-to-1 civilian to combatant ratio. That compares to the British in the Second World War of 1 to 5. The British killed 5 civilians for everyone. The Americans
none of this is true.
The Americans killed 4 Japanese for every civilians for every one fighter. And guess what, Cenk? Today is August 6th, 2025. It's the exact 80th anniversary of Harry Truman dropping an atomic bomb on a place called Hiroshima. That killed 150,000 in one instant. You know how many died in Pearl Harbor? 2,300. So you must say that Truman, based on him having killed 50 times the number, was a Nazi as well. So just say it. Harry Truman was a Nazi. If you at least say that now, that Truman, FDR, and Churchill are Nazis, I will at least say, honestly, that you're at least true to your word, you're consistent. Say it. Truman, Churchill, FDR are Nazis.
Can I ever talk?
You won't say it.
Can I ever talk?
You won't say it.
Okay, so let's know for the record that
allow Cenk to respond.
80% of the time.
80 years
allow Cenk to respond, Rabbi.
150,000 people today. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Was he a Nazi?
Okay. By the way, this is a classic debating trick of Israeli supporters. Filibuster, talk over the other guests, try to drive them crazy, say nothing but lies.
That's what you do. That's what you do.
See, here he is doing it again.
You freak and a Nazi, etc.
You see that?
Ad hominem.
I told you.
You have no vocabulary.
You right as we speak.
Rabbi, allow Cenk to finish.
And I'm not going to take.
Allow Cenk to finish, Rabbi.
I'm not going to call Jews Nazis anymore, you anti-Semite. Yes.
Allow Cenk to respond. Allow Cenk to respond, Rabbi.
Rabbi, I laugh in your face at your stupid insults. Nobody cares anymore when you use that stupid trick of calling people anti-Semites because they're anti-genocide, because they're anti the murder of Palestinian children. Okay, so here's the reality. Right now, Israel has murdered 1,400 people trying to seek food. Totally defenseless, innocent Palestinians trying to prevent the starvation of their children. And Israel has slaughtered 1,400 of them. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Aguilar, an American Special Forces operative who went there, confirms he couldn't believe it. They're just murdering children right in front of everyone that did absolutely nothing wrong. And their main defenses are, well, it might be a genocide, but it's not a Holocaust. We could have killed them all. We're so nice. We didn't murder all the Palestinians. We haven't murdered all their children yet. We're so nice. And look, we didn't drop a nuclear bomb like Truman did. So we're and that incinerated babies and grandmothers, etc. We could, but we haven't. Actually, that's not entirely true. The number of bombs that they've dropped in Gaza is the equivalent of 6 nuclear bombs. And the idea that they're not intending to murder, here we go again.
He's this guy,
here we go again.
Makes things up.
So there's no point in debating Israeli supporters because they're genocidal maniacs who never stop talking and who never stop lying.
Okay, gentlemen, I want to move on to the next question.
No, wait, one second. What is the megatonnage of a singular nuclear bomb? Do you even know? You don't know. What is the megatonnage?
You know who explained that, Rabbi? I can answer it.
Fat boy, little boy dropped on Hiroshima. What was the megatonnage? Go ahead. You don't know, do you? You're such an ignoramus. You just make things up.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. I know the megatonnage.
You asked me a question and you won't let me answer it. All he does is talk. Yap, lie. Israel loves genocide and he loves the murder of innocent Palestinian children. That's why he's yapping away like a monster.
I want to move on to the next question, gentlemen. Gentlemen, please, I have to move on to the next question. I'm going to direct this at Cenk.
He said that
hang on, Rabbi, please.
Killed 14 places. I need to know. Name one place.
This is why I don't talk. This is why I don't do interviews with Rabbi Shmuley. He never shuts up.
Name one place in Gaza that Israel killed the 280 people. Name just one location. Go ahead. Name the city.
So
name the place in Gaza.
the top Holocaust.
Was it Jabalia? Was it Gaza City?
Can I say?
Allow Cenk to finish, Rabbi.
Say the name. Go ahead. Say the name.
Okay. The top Holocaust historian in America, who's an American Israeli citizen, dual citizen, who was a former IDF soldier. This guy's never going to like. There's no point in this.
What is the name?
Rabbi, please. Rabbi, please.
Okay.
He
the
doesn't
top
know.
Holocaust
Thank
historian.
you. That's all. That was my point. He doesn't
Will
know.
you shut
He
up?
cannot
Okay, this
name
is
a
pointless.
single place. He cannot name a single place.
I want to move on to the next question. I want to move on to the next question, please.
Ignoramus. Nothing is based on fact.
Rabbi, please, I want to move on to the next question, and I want to direct it at Cenk.
He doesn't know the cities. You are an ignoramus. You don't know history.
Rabbi, please, I want to move on to the next question. I'm moving on now.
You a freak. You're a
Rabbi, I'm moving on to the next question.
Just cut his mic. He's pointless. In fact, you should get him off.
Okay, Cenk. Okay, Cenk. I'm going to direct this at you.
Baboon, like just yell and scream. I love killing Palestinian children.
Both of you, please. I'm moving on to the next question. I'm directing it at Cenk. We've seen a lot of horrendous footage of people being shot, attempted to get food in Gaza. How can Israel defend this?
Well, it's obviously indefensible. That's why a lot of great Jews and Israelis across the world are now speaking out. What I was trying to say before the baboon interrupted me was that the top Holocaust historian in the country.
You're calling
Here we go
Jews
again.
monkeys and apes? Disgusting. How vile are you?
You murder Muslims for fun. You don't get to talk about
disgusting.
racism. You murder Palestinian children for
anti-Semite
land.
to the
You're a
core.
disgusting
If I was black, would you call
genocidal
me a
pig.
baboon?
So you don't get to
How
talk
do we
about
have-
racism
how do we have a
and
man who is
anti-Semitism.
so
Oh, poor little
low? Can
victim.
you call me a
And by the way, I got,
baboon?
what, 5 seconds in
Disgusting,
before the
vile.
baboon
You
interrupted
named-
me?
Rabbi, allow Cenk to answer. Allow Cenk to answer,
You
please.
call me a baboon? You're just
please go, Cenk.
You're just an embarrassment.
Soon he'll be throwing feces onto the screen.
You're an embarrassment.
Okay.
You're just an
Please
embarrassment.
continue,
You call
Cenk.
Jews apes?
Please, Rabbi,
see
you'll
this-
get your time to
Please.
respond. You'll get your time to respond, Rabbi.
This is unacceptable. You will not call Jews monkeys and apes. You are a disgusting, vile Jew hater to your core. I've never met
I
anyone
don't
like
care
you. The
what
fact
you
that you're put
think.
on
You're a
anyone's air is
genocidal
grotesque.
freak.
Jews are apes. Disgusting.
What does the
He hasn't responded
what does
to
the
a
Nazi
single
think
thing.
of my
Hamas
language?
killed
Oh, I'm
all
so
of those
concerned. What
Palestinians
does
who
the
came for
murderer of
food. He
children
cannot
think of
name
my
one
language?
place.
Oh, the problem is my language. The problem
Baboon.
isn't that you're
He
murdering
feeds him-
Palestinian
Jews are
children.
apes. I got it. Go ahead. You said Jews are
No,
apes.
they're
Go ahead.
not.
Keep on going,
I'm just
Cenk.
defending Jews. I was just defending Jews when you interrupted like a
Then you call this
baboon.
Jew an
I'm not
ape?
talking about Jews. I'm talking about you who
Disgusting.
can't shut up
You
and
are
throw
a
your
rancid
verbal
hater.
diarrhea at us
You are a
24/7.
rancid hater who is so absolutely
Yeah. Everybody
a
hates the
walking
Jews. That's your
ignoramus.
excuse for murdering Muslims.
You don't know
It's a
anything. That's
sick,
what bothers me. What
sick
bothers me is that you
genocidal
don't know
excuse.
history. Genocidal,
There's
your
no- hey,
show
brother,
is
there's no
named
point to this
after people who
conversation.
killed 3 million
There's no
people.
point to
Got
this
it?
conversation.
Your show is
The
called
idiot won't
Young
shut
Turks
up.
Who killed 3
This
million
is the only thing Israelis
You can't
have.
Stop.
Just talking
You
over
can't
people.
stop the ad
Because they're
hominem.
such
You can't
grotesque
stop
liars
the
and
ad
murderers.
hominem.
Okay, please, Rabbi, I'd like to ask you a question. I'i'd like to ask you a question, Rabbi.
I didn't get to answer. No, I didn't get to answer.
Your hatred
The
of
baboon
Jews
won't
is
let me
Okay.
talk. He even looks like one.
Rabbi Shmuley,
I
please
look like a
allow
baboon.
Cenk. Please allow
You
Cenk to
believe
finish.
what we're listening to. I will never use an ad hominem attack against how he looks ever, because I have dignity. I'm a human being. This man.
Please allow him to finish.
says that
Day
Jews-
one.
Jews
You'll
look
never
like
use an
monkeys,
ad
Jews
hominem
smell like
attack.
monkeys,
All the
Jews
Israelis
should be
have is ad
extinct.
hominem attacks.
No wonder. By the way,
Oh,
now
hey,
you
watch
know
us
why
starve
Cenk
children
is
to
no
death.
issue.
You called
It's
me
Mengele.
something.
Now
You said I'm starving
now
children.
you know-
Anti-Semite. That's all this baboon
that
has.
Now you know. Now you know why he has no issue with Mengele experimenting on Jews, because for him, Jews are apes.
I hate
be
the
experimented
Nazis.
on laboratories.
I would have
He said
fought
that
like
I
hell
am
to
a
save
monkey,
Jews
I'm
from
a
the
baboon.
Holocaust.
You can
If you were a
experiment on me.
German,
I
you would have
look like-
cheerleaded
I
and
look
said,
like-
no,
look
they're
like you.
lying about Hitler. That's what you
Jews
would have
are-
said
are
if you were a
baboons.
German, because that's what
You
you're
have
saying
no
now in defending the
self-respect.
genocide
The fact
and
that you
murder of
have
Palestinian
any
children.
credibility. I'm not going to take your insults, your ad hominem,
Then
ignorant.
get the
You
hell
won't
off
even answer a
there.
question
Then
that I
shut
raised.
up and
So you
leave.
are-
Allow Cenk to finish, Rabbi. Allow
No
Cenk.
facts.
Allow Cenk to finish.
Okay, so my prediction is he will never allow me to finish. Okay, as I was saying, there are wonderful Jews and Israelis who now realize, oh my God, we thought this was about self-defense. In fact, the former head of Shin Bet had a great quote. He said, at first, this war was a just war, a defensive war. But when we achieved all military objectives, this war ceased to be a just war. That's Ami Ayalon, former director of Shin Bet. Okay, so two former prime ministers of Israel said it's obviously a genocide. One former prime minister said that they're building a concentration camp in the south. And that is what they're doing. And they're going to put all the Palestinians there, and everything that I've ever said that they were going to do, they did do. And why? Because I actually read Israeli press, and they're very clear in the Israeli press. They've said that they were going to take Gaza. Benjamin Netanyahu brought a map of Greater Israel to the UN to rub it in everybody's face. We're going to steal this land, and now they're openly admitting it. They're calling it a conquest, and they're going to occupy all of Gaza. And they're going to starve they are starving the Palestinians, and then when they come to get food, they kill 1,400 of them, which, by the way, just starving people in line to get food unarmed, Israel has murdered more of them than Hamas killed Israelis on October 7th. So they keep complaining about October 7th, which is justifiable. October 7th was terrible. Then they go and do 50 October 7ths, and that's a stone cold fact backed up by every human rights group and every news organization. The only people who disagree is the Israeli government. Everything that the Israeli government puts out has been proven to be a obvious, verifiable lie, including now, again, former and current Israeli military, political, spy agencies, every kind of person in Israel with a conscience is saying, guys, we didn't sign up to do a genocide. And a lot of the top rabbi in America said it. The top Holocaust historian said it. He's the one that said it's the equivalent of 6 nuclear bombs.
Am I going to be allowed to
and he
speak
said
at all?
we can't have this on our conscience. Here we go, as I told you.
Am I going to be allowed to speak at all?
Yes, of course.
Interrupt me now, or can I speak without? He spoke for like 3 minutes.
You know what, Rabbi? You're kind of funny.
Can we ask him?
I mean, he's like a comic, right?
Can he stop?
He interrupts and talks 80% of the time. Then he goes,
am I going to be allowed to speak
at all?
Okay, now,
go ahead, defend murdering
Okay,
children.
I think you got a fair crack of the whip there, Cenk. Allow the rabbi to respond.
Okay. Number one, Cenk just invents and he knows nothing. As you see, he's looking away at a screen, even for the name Ami Ayalon. He probably has ChatGPT open. I've seen him do this before. Ami Ayalon never said that there's Ami Ayalon. See, he won't stop. Ami Ayalon never said there's a genocide. You are a liar. I'm telling you to your face. I want you to show me.
I didn't say that. I read his quote.
Yes, you did. Number two, of course there's political dissent in Israel. Don't interrupt me. Of course there's political dissent in Israel. That's the beauty of Israel. No one in Hamas or Gaza will say anything about Hamas and how they are stealing the food. They're beginning to say it, but they get right. They were killed by Hamas. That is correct. Hamas mows them down.
No, Hamas is all dead.
And they're saying now number three. There are Americans till today who question whether on the 80th anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima, today's the exact day, whether we should have done it or not. That's political debate. That's what's happening in Israel. Israel did not achieve its military objectives because its military objectives was to finally stop Hamas from being able to kill the Palestinians, their own people, steal all their money. The heads of Hamas are billionaires. Ismail Haniyeh died with $8 billion. Yasser Arafat died with $5 billion. Yasser Arafat's daughter lives in Paris, is worth $5 billion, according to Forbes magazine. All of the money that was given, triple what was given during the Marshall Plan to Europeans was given to the Gazans. It was all stolen by Hamas. That's why they were starving before October 7th. The Palestinians of Gaza have lived under the greatest brutality, and Hamas is worse for the Palestinians than they are for the Jews. That's why Hamas took the PLO, the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas's people, and threw them off of rooftops so they couldn't compete in the 2006 elections. Notice that even Mahmoud Abbas hates Hamas. Mahmoud Abbas has not traveled to Gaza in 20 years. They would kill him the way they would kill an IDF soldier. Mahmoud Abbas wants to get rid of Hamas. Notice that not one Arab government, with the exception of Iran, because Cenk is an Iranian Muslim Brotherhood supporter, not one government, not where you are right now in Dubai, UAE, not Saudi Arabia, not Egypt. Nobody defends Hamas. They all hate Hamas. In fact, I fear for where you are.
I don't defend Hamas.
Dubai,
I hate Hamas.
Because Dubai, you are Hamas. Because Dubai right now is Dubai is everything an Arab country should be. I love Dubai. I travel there, but Dubai is now being infiltrated by terrible agents of Iran, and they know that they're Hamas-like people. I have a relative who just went to Dubai recently, and he was told that because he is my relative, he has to leave immediately because of of Iranian agents who are operating. We had a rabbi that was killed. I'm worried about Dubai. I'm worried about Abu Dhabi. I'm worried about Saudi Arabia. I think that Mohammed bin Salman is the most courageous man in the Arab world, and that's why none of them are criticizing Israel. Because they, and by the way, when Cenk says Israel killed 1,200 people at distribution points, really, why would Israel bring them food to kill them? They were killed by Hamas, and that's why 1,400. And that's why when I ask him, name just one place where they were killed, he can't. And then when he says Ami Ayalon, he has to look to his notes. He doesn't know anything.
Well, I'm giving you the answer, but you don't want to hear it. The World War II was one of the worst, like probably the single worst atrocity in human history. The Holocaust was despicable, and the fact that now Israel is doing something similar breaks my heart. And it breaks the hearts of all good Jews across the world, and they've been screaming in pain and agony over it. Holocaust survivors are sick with what Israel's doing.
I want to move on to the next question, gentlemen. Hang on. Gentlemen, please. I want to move on to the next question. It's for you, Rabbi Shmuley. It's for you, Rabbi Shmuley.
Yes.
Right, okay.
I'll do one more question, but this guy doesn't, this is not a productive interview. He never
of course, please. And
correct.
I mean, for both of you, stop, especially you, Rabbi. Please, Rabbi.
To be experimented on by Mengele is not helpful. I agree.
Please, Rabbi.
You should be so ashamed. Disgusting.
It's going well so far. We're going to continue. Please. I have a question for you, Rabbi. Gentlemen, please. Gentlemen, please.
You are a Hamas.
Please, gentlemen. I've got the next question.
No, I got to say one quick thing. This idiot keeps saying I'm pro-Hamas when I've said I'm anti-Hamas a billion times. A billion times. Hamas is all dead. All that's left is the murder of innocent Palestinians by baboons like this.
55 Israeli baboons again, calling Jews monkeys and apes. You are
I'm not calling Jews baboons. I'm calling you a baboon. I just told you all the wonderful Jews in the world fighting against baboons like you.
Any Jew that is self-hating is not a baboon, but a Jew who actually fights back and doesn't want to be gassed to you as a freaking monkey.
You think the top Holocaust historian and the top rabbi in America are self-hating? You think two former Israeli prime ministers are self-hating?
What do you mean? You said the most famous.
I want to move on to the next question, gentlemen, please.
You said the most famous rabbi in America. I'm the most famous rabbi in America, thank God, according to ChatGPT. But let's say that's not true. You said the most famous rabbi in America.
Rabbi Rick Jacobs leads the largest Jewish denomination in America.
Rabbi Rick Jacobs is the head of the Reform, very woke, ultra-left Reform Judaism. That's who you were quoting? Why did you say
the number one denomination, the largest denomination in America.
Orthodoxy
He's now smearing other Jews.
By far, okay?
I'm moving on to the next question now, gentlemen. Rabbi, please. Stop. So, both of you stop. I'm moving on to the next question.
Disgusting.
Right, I'm moving on to the next question. Cenk, is a two-state solution impossible now?
So actually, I don't think it is. I mean, look, obviously, Netanyahu, Ben-Gvir, Smotrich, the current Israeli government have no interest in a two-state solution. They literally voted to never allow the Palestinians to have a state. They literally are saying that they are going to conquer and occupy Gaza and take it for Israel. So we've seen this over and over again. But I think that there is a way to do a two-state solution. Obviously, it requires the American government to stand up for Americans and for decency and not for Israel. So we can get into how AIPAC and the Israeli lobby completely control American government. But my guess is my rabbi will start screaming and hollering as usual. But look, I have a really important message for the people of the Middle East. If your leaders pressure America and Israel to get to a two-state solution and finally get a true independent and free state for the Palestinians, you should build statues of them and honor them, because it would be a great achievement of theirs. And you
There's been a lot of reports that Benjamin Netanyahu intends to reoccupy Gaza. I'm going to direct this towards Rabbi Shmuley. Has this been his plan all along?
Okay. Netanyahu voted for the removal, the disengagement of all Israeli forces and all Israeli residents, including my wife's first cousins from Gush Katif. He was condemned by his base at the time. That was 2005. Today is the exact 20th anniversary that Israel did it. I cannot believe that Cenk doesn't know that. It's astonishing. Just Google it, Cenk.
Of course I know that. It was a stupid Israeli trick.
For that. Okay, Netanyahu voted. Yeah, it was a stupid Israeli trick for 20 years. They played a game. This is the kind of imbecility that we're hearing from this man who doesn't know history. Now, Netanyahu
How much more land are you going to steal?
It was done by a right-wing government under Ariel Sharon, someone I knew personally. He destroyed his reputation doing it.
You're going to steal Gaza, aren't you?
Now, let me respond. I believe that the people of Gaza should have a vote as to what they want their future to be. That's why I hate Hamas. Cenk is pro-Hamas, wants Hamas to stay in power and keep 55 Jews who are being emaciated, starved to death, and digging their own graves. He wants them to stay in power. I want the people of Gaza to have a vote. They have not had a vote. They have not. This is so childish. He had childhood bully tactics. They have not had a vote since 2006. This is what I'm saying. What Shmuley Bater thinks, what anti-Semite Cenk Uygur thinks, does not make a difference. It's what the people of Gaza think.
I laugh in your face, genocide-supporting freak.
They should be given a vote. Now, President Trump said that he wants to make Gaza into an American protectorate. If the people of Gaza vote for that, I think they'd be very lucky. That would be my first choice. Make it into an American protectorate and let it be controlled not by Israel, not by the United States, and let the people of Gaza have the protection of the United States, say the way Puerto Rico does, the way Guam does, the way American Virgin Islands. That would be amazing. That would be my first choice, but it's still up to them. Number two, why is no Arab government allowed? Arab countries are 661 times the state of Israel. They have not taken in one Palestinian refugee. Israel took in 800,000 Jewish refugees when they were persecuted after the creation of the state, from Iraq, from Egypt, from Tunisia, from Iran, where my father was born. They took in 800,000. Not one Arab government has taken in one Palestinian because they don't want the Palestinians, because they think the Palestinians have been radicalized as Islamists. Saudi Arabia doesn't want them. UAE doesn't want them. Jordan doesn't want them. Egypt doesn't. Egypt is right across the border. The Sinai Peninsula, which I visited, is completely empty. It could take 1 or 2 million Palestinians tomorrow if the Palestinians not are forced out, but would choose to go, but they won't even take them. So it's the Arab governments that have failed the Palestinians. What I want is a vote. Now, I want Cenk to now commit to what I'm saying. Give the people of Gaza a vote. Do they want to go to other countries? Do they want to come to, do they want an American protectorate? Do they want their own state? Give them a vote, but don't allow Hamas to shoot them in the streets, shoot them at collection points for food in order to control them as they've done for 20 years. The 1,400.
Okay, allow Cenk to respond, Rabbi. Allow Cenk to respond.
Hamas, and it's been shown in every video. They were killed not by Israel, and that's why he cannot name one location for the IDF. He can't name a single location. Name it now, Cenk. Give me one location.
Allow Cenk to respond, Rabbi. I'm going to put the same question to Cenk. Has it been Netanyahu's plan all along to annex Gaza?
Yeah, if you notice, he threw out a lot of verbal distractions and squirrels there. Oh, well, let's go back 20 years. Let's go back 100 years. Let's go back to this or that, because he didn't want to answer your question, because Netanyahu has said it. They're going to occupy all of Gaza. They call it Judea and Samaria. They're calling it a full conquest. This is, let's be honest, a nation that was formed through land theft. Then in 1967, attacked all of its neighbors and stole more land. And they did a peace deal with Egypt. Here we go, the interruptions.
Please, Rabbi, allow Cenk to finish.
He doesn't know history.
Allow Cenk to finish.
1967, Gamal Abdel
There's no point in this.
Rabbi, allow Cenk to finish. Please, Rabbi, you'll have your turn after this. Allow Cenk to finish. Allow Cenk to finish. You'll have your time to respond after this. Please, go on, Cenk.
So after they attacked all their Arab neighbors in 1967, and you could all look it up, it's a fact, they then stole the Sinai Peninsula, the Golan Heights, West Bank, Gaza Strip. They brutally occupied those areas for 58 years. They claim they're a democracy while they keep 5.5 million Palestinians as hostages and prisoners. They don't have any rights. And then they did this comical trick of, oh, we left Gaza. Oh, if anyone objects to anything we're doing, we'll just murder, this 61,000 of you. We'll put you in a concentration camp. We'll level the whole place. But you guys have independence. Does it look like Gaza has independence? So this guy keeps telling you to believe things that are so obviously not true. But now, since he can't defend what the Israeli government is saying, he's making up these things, these fanciful things about a vote for the Palestinians in Gaza. Are you kidding me? I would love a vote. I would love a vote. And guess what they would vote for? They would vote for an independent state. And guess what would happen next? Israel would murder them and take their land, which is what they're doing right now.
Would they vote for Hamas?
They have no freedom. Israel is not a democracy. Israel does nothing but propaganda.
Gaza.
Here we go again.
Hamas to control Gaza. You're pro-Hamas.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm against Hamas?
No. Those are words. You want Israel.
What else am I supposed to do?
Netanyahu never said he's going to occupy occupy Gaza. He said he's going to occupy Gaza until he dismantles Hamas. That's what he said. Israel does not want Gaza.
And then what, he's going to leave?
From Gaza.
Are you really this much of a liar that you would say that they're going to leave after they occupy all of Gaza?
Let me respond.
Israel never leaves. Israel's a bully, imperial, colonial, genocidal government. The current government of Israel is a bunch of terrorists.
Won't let me speak. I'm now going to speak.
I won't let you speak. This is pointless.
Cenk just said that Israel stole land. There was a 1936 Peel Report Commission where the British divided the land. The Palestinians rejected. There was a
British gave Palestinian land. One colonial gave another colonial power Palestinian land. I don't give a goddamn what the British thought of how the Palestinian land should be stolen and taken by the Israelis.
They rejected
Israel's
I want to move on, gentlemen. I've got another question. I want to move on. I want to ask the rabbi a question now.
Deal with history. Then in 1967, Gamal Abdel Nasser declared war on Israel. He closed the Straits of Iran. He kicked out all of the UN peacekeepers.
After Israel destroyed his entire air force.
No, it was before. Your ignorance is abysmal. He closed the Straits of Iran, then Israel attacked his air force. I cannot believe what you don't know. It's just shocking. Read a Wikipedia page. Now,
or little Israel just happened to take all the land.
I cannot believe
little Israel just happened to attack all their Arab neighbors in self-defense.
You know. Just read a Wikipedia page before you debate me next time.
No one believes it's self-defense.
I want to move on, gentlemen. I've got a question for the rabbi.
Then Yasser.
I want to move on, gentlemen. I've got a question for the rabbi. Please, rabbi.
90% of the West Bank under Bill Clinton, who called Yasser Arafat, you said you made me a failure, Yasser Arafat. You don't want peace. You want the destruction of Israel. This has happened over.
I have a question for you, Rabbi. I have a question for you, please.
Yes.
What does victory look like for Israel?
Total destruction of Hamas to the last fighter, because they are genocidal Nazis who in their covenant say that they're going to kill every Jew on earth, including President
Trump's
daughter,
are doing to the Palestinians.
Ivanka, okay, that's the first.
You're actually
Total
doing
destruction of Hamas. Total destruction of Hamas. Number two. A free vote among the Palestinian people once they're not afraid of Hamas because they've been mowed down, shot, killed, murdered, slaughtered, and all their money stolen by Hamas over the past 20 years. Number three, a peace treaty between Israel and Saudi Arabia. And I want to, again, this is Arabiya. God bless you, Mohammed bin Salman, most courageous man in the Arab world, who took on the Wahhabis, took on fundamentalist Muslim Brotherhood, people like Cenk. People like Cenk want to destroy the Islamic world, and people like MBS are fighting people like him, and I'm grateful.
Why would I be for Muslim Brotherhood?
You are an Islamist.
I'm an atheist.
You are a Muslim brother. Everything you say is just the talking points of the Muslim Brotherhood. You're an anti-Semite who calls Jews baboons. And
what does victory look like? And what does victory look like? Please continue.
This guy's just an inveterate, useless liar. Everything he said is a lie. So what's the point?
Victory means the toppling. Victory means the toppling of the government in Tehran, so that the people of Iran can have a free vote, not the Shah and not the Ayatollah Khamenei.
See, they want Iran too.
Iranian.
There's no end to their greed.
Iranian proxies of Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, they are all the problem destroying the Middle East. Every Arab country knows
Yemen.
that.
Now they want Yemen too.
That's why you have the Abraham Accords. The Abraham Accords is about where you are right now in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, Morocco, Saudi Arabia, God willing, knowing that Iran is their common enemy and making peace with Israel. That is victory. Victory is destruction of Hamas, free votes for the people of Gaza, free votes for all of our Arab brothers and sisters, and the vision of people like Mohammed bin Salman to see a country's based on a beautiful religion called Islam, which is peace-loving. I love Islam. I love my Muslim brothers and sisters, and I despise Islamists like Cenk.
Should be super proud of your leaders if they manage to do that. But if they leave the Palestinians to die at the hands of the Israelis, and they quote unquote make peace with the Israelis where the Palestinians get nothing but endless slaughter, then your leaders have betrayed you. And they've decided to work with Israel and help their genocide. If they do that, you should be livid at that betrayal of Arabs, Muslims, and Palestinians. So I hope that the Arab leaders do the right thing and push as hard as possible, not for Hamas, no one wants Hamas, but for the Palestinian people, a true independent Palestinian state. If that doesn't happen, of course you shouldn't make a deal with Israel. If you do a deal with Israel without helping the Palestinians and letting them die and starve there, then you've betrayed all Arabs and Muslims. And any leader that does that should be hated and despised. Again, though, if they get them a state, build statues of them, honor them, and respect them.
On to the rabbi.
May I respond?
Is a two-state solution possible, Rabbi?
Okay. Let me just be clear. A two-state solution, a Palestinian state, was offered to our Palestinian brothers and sisters in 1936 by the Peel Commission.
Is it possible now? Is it possible now?
I'm telling you. There's 80 years of history where Israel has offered the Palestinians a state, and they have rejected it every time and resorted to violence. And Gaza is the greatest example, because Gaza was essentially a Palestinian state. Israel withdrew completely. There wasn't one IDF soldier there. And what did they do? They didn't build commerce. They didn't build universities. They took all the international aid, hundreds of billions of dollars, and used it just to buy rockets and build a tunnel network.
They had universities. They
the New York subway.
destroyed them all.
Quiet, please. The New York subway system, larger than just in order to kill Israelis. A Palestinian state, which is like Canada and Mexico, you could coexist with Israel, but there's no chance of there building a Palestinian state that is like Canada and Mexico. Right now, what we have are Palestinians who are like Cenk. They called Israel, what he just said, that I'm a monkey. They call Jews baboons, monkeys. How can you have a state with people who actually dehumanize you? I'm sitting in a city right now in Budapest with 550,000 Jews.
You guys dehumanize and murder the Palestinians.
Shut your mouth, please. Shut your
and
mouth,
this guy's
please.
justifying taking their land.
Shut your mouth, please. 550,000 Jews were murdered here in Budapest. And it was because of people like Cenk, who's serving on this.
No, it was because of people like you. It was exactly because of people like you who dehumanize Palestinians and say killing their babies is no big deal. You sound exactly like the people who murdered those Jews in the Holocaust.
I have heard blacks called baboons in my lifetime. I've heard Jews called baboons. I've just never heard it on a respectable show.
I don't actually think I've ever heard anybody called a baboon other than you.
The fact that he has called me a baboon is.
And moving to the question, Rabbi, is a two-state solution possible?
Wait. The reason why they could experiment on Jews was because of the kind of things that this Joseph Goebbels propagandist says about Jews. Cenk is
saying the Palestinians cannot govern themselves, that they're subhuman. And he calls us ironically quoting Mengele. You sound like Mengele. Call the Palestinians subhuman one more time.
Not only am I not going to say they're not subhuman, they are my equal before God in every way. I would never call you a baboon.
That's why you murdered their children?
Joseph Goebbels anti-Semite. You are a Joseph Goebbels anti-Semite who wants Jews experimented on.
You want. No one cares. Everybody on the planet Earth knows you're a liar.
Right now.
Just very briefly, Rabbi, we're just out of time.
Right now, there cannot be a two-state solution so long as people like Cenk, Uygur, anti-Semitic to the core.
They're going to take the land.
You hear Cenk. You hear that he doesn't know anything about history. He hates Jews to the core. He's a medieval anti-Semite. He believes that
I
Jews
defended Jews. You're the one who attacked them.
And we hear
you're the anti-Semite.
Jews who want to surrender. You love dead Jews.
Okay, gentlemen, we're just out of time. I'm going to have to leave it there.
With a conscience, you're an anti-Semite.
A state like Cenk Uygur, whose show is named after the people who perpetrated the Armenian genocide.
He admitted they're going to take Gaza.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, gentlemen, we're going to have to leave it there.
They're a bunch of thieves.
Okay, gentlemen, we're going to have to leave it there.
The Palestinians and take their land. That's Israel 101.
Cenk Uygur, the host of the Young Turks, and Rabbi Shmuley, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. God bless you.
That's all we have time for on Global News Today. Thanks for watching, and be sure to join us tomorrow for more exclusive interviews. Until then, goodbye.